but female bodybuilding can do in general when it comes to maybe making profit or maybe get recognition. Because there's ways they can make money, but some ways are not as, you know, very lucrative in some ways, you know, or as I often call I would say, if you're not comfortable with the beat meat websites, those things are some of, I mean, if you do OnlyFans, understand that some people, especially in the IVBC, kind of look down on it a little bit because the fact
Yeah,
is,
they do.
yeah, because like I think it hurts like fellow competitors who I follow, they do OnlyFans, and I feel like they do pretty well at Olympia. They have placed in the top three in their careers, but then the thing is that possibly that will hurt their opportunity to become a champion title.
Well, what about that one website that she flexes or she muscle that y'all be talking about? They make a little bit profit off of that, don't they?
No, I mean, girls with muscles. No,
Yeah, something like okay,
no, they
they
don't.
should though.
It's they don't want, they don't try to do that. But what some of these sites do, they will advertise on them, but they don't make
Okay,
money, because if you do make any kind of money, maybe not much, if there's anything, but it's mostly like a free shared site. Just recently, I did a birthday video for Linda Murray. Wish her happy
yeah.
birthday. Now I was like, I go to there sometimes to find some pictures and videos so I can put together for the birthday video. I saw a competitor in the past was not never on that site before, and
Oh,
she decided to join that site, and that is Sarah Quill. You know who Sarah Quill is? She actually goes by a married name, Sarah Misik. Now,
yeah.
Sarah is a physique competitor out of Australia. She's been
Hmm.
competing for quite some while. She just last year made her Olympia debut, and and she's kind of great. I've interacted a little bit because like if I post something and she may not like it because but because they're very, a lot of these ladies are protective of their brand. But a while back, like I said again, I was surprised to see Sarah on Girls with Muscles. I thought,
Okay.
because in the past, she wasn't on there before. Because if you go search for her, you wouldn't find her. So if you don't recognize Sarah Krill, aka Sarah Misik, here's Sarah right here.
Oh yeah, yeah. I recognize her.
And Sarah is like a young competitor. I think she's not even.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
she's been the talk of the town lately. So yeah, of course I know who
yeah,
she is.
yeah. And there's talk that possibly, some say Sarah could be a women's bodybuilder in the future. I mean, there was
Oh
like
yeah.
she got a qualification last year at the Arizona Pro, Arizona Pro
Hmm.
/ Rising Phoenix,
Yep.
and she earned a pro card like I think about 4 or 5 years ago. She actually earned a pro card same show that her and Tracy Guile competed at.
Yeah.
And there's a video out there. Somebody sent to me a while back. It's like on stage, she's getting her pro card, and you hear Tracy's husband, because I've heard the guys talk before.
Oh
You
yeah.
can hear him. He was going no, 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 no. But like I said, Tracy's still a young woman. Give her time. Maybe we might even see her move up to.
Oh yeah. She's definitely got a bright future ahead of her.
Yeah, we could probably see her move up to women's bodybuilding. I mean, but I guess she's young, and I think she still needs that
Hmm.
time to grow and to develop.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. We have here some comments here. Shout out to my guest that's been here. Give me a second here. A lot of you guys got a lot to say. Also, this is from my man C. Ron One. He says, "Be more proactive on social media and promote themselves." Yes, that's important that you
Yes.
do that. Also, he says this. He says, wait, I clicked it. Okay. He says this, well, one thing ladies need to bring themselves to these shows and compete, and don't make excuses. Show up as soon as they can. And yeah, that's the most thing. You have to be
Hmm.
active. You can't be sitting off to the side. Now, like, even with, the thing is, it goes back to the cost. Because as you know, a while back,
Yeah.
Melissa Tyke announced that she is, sitting back from competition. She's still gonna be in the bodybuilding world because she's a coach and a trainer, but she's stepping
Yeah.
back. She didn't say she's like retired, but she's taking a step back because the last year the cost of getting ready for the Olympia, doing Chicago training was real lot, because I think she said
Oh
like
yeah.
at least in up there in 5 digits. She was,
Ooh-wee.
yeah, because you got to think about it. The cost to go to the show, even though
I
the Olympia,
mean,
the Olympia do cover your cost of travel, like for your plane, your other
oh yeah, that's good.
yeah, you go some costs, but still there's others like in the Uber, to eat, like that. That's coming
I
out of your
mean,
pocket.
your food, hair, makeup, your suit, your videographer, that's optional. I mean, come on now, that costs money.
Yeah, and some women do like to get videos and stuff because there's a guy, Gilco. He does a lot
Yeah,
of the videos of the show. I remember he was there. I saw him in
man.
Tampa, and some of the ladies, the package might cost you a lot. Like get pictures and get video. It might cost you $300 or $400 or more, because you
Hmm.
want that, because you want to put that usually in social media. Here, shout out to my man here. My man DJ says, "What about doing community service for local volunteers?" That's a good idea.
Ooh, nice.
That's a good idea. He says, also, he says this, he says, people need to be careful with social media. Yes, be careful with social media. And also, he says this, also says, George, I would love to interview someone like the one that is doing the bodybuilding documentary on podcast. Well, like I said, all you got to do, brothers, ask.
Get your name out there, man.
Yeah, you got to get your name on there, because also you have to really build up especially for us content makers, you have to really build up your social media platform.
Yeah, you got to build. It's all about building.
Yeah, you gotta post videos, stuff. Also be very newsworthy, because one thing, so we're kind of cautious when dealing with people who do content about women bodybuilding, because they don't want it to be lumped in as some kind of fantasy thing like that. That's the thing is, if you are a fan of it, ladies, you have fantasy ladies, you have to turn it down a little bit, turn it down,
Yeah, turn it down a notch.
because it can
Talk
turn
about
you
talk
off.
about it like a sport, like because it is a sport.
Yeah, be more based. Don't focus too much on them and their muscles. Focus about
Talk
their
about their
sport,
prep,
their
yeah,
training, and then
yeah,
talk about the other stuff that may mean something to them. You have to make it personable when you talk to these ladies. It can't be about yourself. You can't put you so much of yourself into it. You have to make it personal. Um, Here, this is for my man here. C. He says, "Be more proactive." Yeah, I see. I said that.
oh,
Oh,
you're
he said, this is from shout out to my man here. It says, "What about doing?" Oh, yes, I got a bunch. I'm reading this all over again. Uh, this is from he says, "Oh, wait. Okay,
uh-oh.
I got a lot of guys asking questions here right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them all." Um, this is from. Give me a second. It says, "Well, they have bicep." Well, yeah, they have that because
Yeah.
they advertise on there, because that's where they get the people to follow their sites. And this is from, he says, yep, they do. And also, this is from C, says, Sarah Creel is impressive. Yeah.
Yep.
And he says this, he says, her front double bicep, woo. Yeah. She's a young lady, massive, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, this is from my man, Jeff. He says, also, Discord has a bunch of female bodybuilders channels. Yeah. I haven't been on
Hmm.
Discord that much, like, do you be on Discord, Jeff? I mean, yeah, Jeff. I mean, Josh.
No, I'll be on Discord. My bread and butter is Instagram and pretty soon YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Well, I heard it's a popular platform, Discord. A lot of competitors come on
Okay.
there, and also I think it's I don't know much about it. I mean, that's why I love to have somebody who's really young, who understands a lot of this, because I'm still a bit of a caveman when it comes to social
Yeah.
media. Other than Facebook and YouTube and my IG, there's Threads. I have TikTok, but I don't be on it that much. I know TikTok's very popular. That's one. I think it's quite a few ladies who I follow on TikTok, because
Oh
they post
yeah.
they
TikTok's
post
popular too.
they post videos and post content. Ladies. The thing is, you have to be like, I reached out to this one lady, and I'm trying to set up an interview her in the future. And her thing is, she I think I talked about it the other day, where she says she's like an introvert, but you're not really introvert if you can go on stage and present your body in front of a bunch of people and strangers. You're not
Yeah.
introverted. You're just saying that you're introverted because it's the excuse you want to use. I don't like to be out and all about, but I sometimes I had to learn to get out of my own way. I used to work at a job where I worked in people. I worked at a gas station where I worked with people. I worked at a strip club where I did a lot of public work because I'm working with people, and also I worked at a textile factory. Around people a lot, and that's the thing is
Mm-hmm.
you have to be comfortable with being around people, and then people are going to be curious, and then you're going to have those people that might have like comments and say this or say that. But the thing is, don't let it bother you too much because people are always going to have a prejudice when it comes to women with muscle. He says this. He says this is from. He says the amount of women bodybuilding athletes should be double digits and not low single digits competing at these shows. That's the thing is, the
Mm-hmm.
ladies have to come up. The problem is, Juan, because it's the cost. It's the cost of traveling. The cost of getting to shows, paying for the fees, paying the suits. It can be expensive. This is a hobby sport for some of these ladies, and some of
Yes, a
them
hobby sport.
and some of them do have responsibilities like families and children, and and the job. Sometimes they might try to figure out how to go to these shows and try to work it where they can take time off from their job. Unless you are independent worker, like some of these do are coaches and trainers, and that's independent a little bit. You can do whatever you want and want. But many of these have corporate jobs where they sometimes have to say, hey, when can I use my PTO time? That's my personal time off, what that means. And try to work it with the show. Sometimes that's why some ladies ask me when the schedule's out. And I'm sending the schedule, so here's the schedule. And they look at the schedule and see the shows that fit within their schedule and time. Like if they have so many times off, they have at least a few weeks off, they want to stretch them out. They want to use them too much at one time.
Yeah.
Um, this is from a man, Jeff says, that's tricky for me. He says this, he says, he says, I'm on Discord. Yeah, I mean, I might check it out. So, but
Yeah.
also, as you know, this should be the year where Fit Model's coming in. And it's getting a lot of attention because it's
Well,
new
you're not
fitness.
allergic to it anymore. You didn't do the IQ.
There's that I choose. Ha!
Okay, okay,
I'm not sneezing. I'm spitting. You know,
okay.
but Fit Model. Excuse me again. Ha! It's His thing about this. It's the division must be a throwback to bikini, but I'm seeing stuff like I saw these. I follow Best on Stage. It's on IG, and often sometimes I see stuff on there or somebody send me stuff. And I'm seeing now because new fit model coming in because it happens when we were in bodybuilding years ago, when it was coming, when it was like going out and get pushed out, and then physique was coming in, and
Mhm.
you've seen these competitors here. Like this is one example. This is the woman that they based the idea of Ashley Coatwalser. She was the woman that
What?
based the idea of fit model, and look at her now. This is the woman that was the blueprint for because she was one of the um, early women bodybuilding competitors,
Mhm.
bikini competitors. But now, if you look at her now, she's evolved. The glutes, the conditioning.
What?
She has abdominal development. When she first came in, she was a certain look, but now she's even
Mhm.
evolved by that look. And then you're having women now, which is right here. If I pull this up, I saw this um, the other day. This young
Mhm.
lady here make an announcement.
To disclose what this new chapter is going to look like. And I'm very excited to say that I've decided to make the switch. I will be coming out of retirement from Pro Bikini and I will be looking to step on stage in the Pro Fit Model division. This is an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up, if I'm being honest.
But the thing is, now you
Mhm.
tired from bikini, but why are you coming back in fit model? Where all you have to do is really, here she should make comments says, I'm so small in the comparison to any bikini Olympians, and that it spent this whole year streamlining, downsizing, and that's what you need to do, because
Yeah.
also now you have to look a certain way. Like this is like if you look at this is the women in bikini right now.
Yeah.
Some of the top ladies in bikini. I think this is Laura Lee, I believe. And this is a certain look. Some of the women kind of even look almost like early women bodybuilders. Somewhat,
Yeah.
but still, it's about the evolution. If you're coming down from bikini to fit model, you're going to change the aspect of look. Like here's this one lady here. Also, she's announced that she's moving.
Just coming from bikini into fit model does not guarantee you a win. There's definitely streamlining that has to occur for any former bikini pro to come into the division. So it's going to be wide open to see who does well and who stands out. But I'm so glad to see Janet come back to competing because she just has a stunning physique and just a great presentation on stage. So it'll be really fun to watch.
Yeah, the thing is, when you come into a new division like this, and this is supposed to be the criteria. It says this is a preview of what you're supposed to see. The ladies are supposed to be a little bit more streamlined, a little smaller, not as ripped and conditioned.
Yeah, no rep, no conditioning.
Yeah, a little tighter. But again, how long will this look last? The bikini is not too, the proposal suit is not too fancy. They're just basically solid colors, with kind of satin or kind of cloth look to it. But again, here's this we have here. This is a good example.
She is a 2026 fit model athlete, and we are going to show you our fit model cut number 2. So go ahead and turn around. And Mariah has 40-inch glutes, and if you see, this shapes her glutes to show 50% coverage. Now, something that can happen backstage or once you get on stage is the suit can shift if you don't have it glued down. Or we've seen some models that actually put their suit like up their butt before they go on stage because they want less coverage. And that is a big no-no on the rules. So if you see this same suit, if Mariah wanted, she could have it fit like our pro cut. That will get you disqualified in the fit model division. So if you have trouble, say we highly recommend using Bikini Bite.
Yeah. Because the thing is, the dress, it looks going to be different. It's also the training is different because you don't need to Anastasia.
No weightlifting. It's basically just cardio work.
Cardio is mostly that's how they see it. It's going to be like a cardio body division. Here we get my man Jeff. He says this. He says it's like newest Facebook. It's just for meeting cool people. Okay, alrighty. I'll check it out. Also, this is from my man C says it's if some financial issues with these ladies can do GoFundMe pages and raise money. Here's the thing about GoFundMe. That's a hit or miss. Because most of the time GoFundMe is something that really started out for people who are going through financial issues, medical issues, something like that. Most time, most people are not going to give to something like bodybuilders. Some ladies do a GoFundMe. If they're the lucky few, you might have like right now the GoFundMe for Anastasia riders. It's a little over $7,000, and that's doing pretty good to people. But now it's kind of slowed down because might pick up later on because it's tax season. You might have some people who have some money to burn who want to donate. But the thing is, GoFundMe hit or miss. A lot of these crowdfunders don't really work. That's why some of these ladies have to do payday loans. Or borrow, or sometimes, like my man Keith says, you have to borrow from Paul. You have to steal from Paul. You have to steal from Peter to pay Paul. That. So you have to steal from Peter to pay Paul. You have to make wage. You have to set a budget, and especially we had the cost of food, the cost of setting shows. Like I said, I'm planning on going to a show, and I got to do a couple of things. Like first, I got to get myself a real ID because I'm going to go by plane. Not as cool. I don't want to go by train again because it's a long ride on a train.
I bet it was.
Yeah. It's bumpy. But plane is a little faster. You at least an hour and a half at the most. Just going.
Plane's not so bad, my man. You'll have fun.
I gotta get used to it. I'm planning on buying some that motion sickness medicine just in case.
Yeah.
And also the other things involved with it because if you are only people that pay to compete is master competitors. They're the only ones who pay to compete because if they do like 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 plus,
there's plenty of master competitors.
Yeah, and then the Masters we blowing up because right now we're waiting to see when they're gonna have the Masters Olympia this year. Shot here from my man. C, he says this. He says that's what I'm saying. The evolution of division. So what's the point of IB bringing this trash division fit model in? Okay, it's about bringing in more people to pay attention to it, bringing in people who might be interested in bodybuilding. Because if you bring something, that one thing was bikini was supposed to be back when it came
But
out.
look at
But
these bikini competitors now. Woo!
yeah, look at the bikini girls right now. I mean, there's some girls in figure are just really mass
Yeah,
monsters.
even these. Yeah,
you know. But the thing is that I was going to see. It's just that the judging is not really um, sitting down and sticking to the plan of what they want when it comes to a bodybuilding. And also, stuff is going on right now here. This I'm gonna show you a little bit. And this is it's not good to have this issue here. Sarah
oh
speaks
my
out
god.
on false statements. That's going right now in the women's physique division, where you have the current champion who's supposed to be, very upright. He says this says statements have been made by individuals speaking with institutional authority claiming that Sarah manufactured baseless accusations related to PMMA and that only spoke out after losing the Olympia. And that's true. Shortly after Olympia, a practicing medical physician professional came forward to Sarah in real identity. The individual was vetted and confirmed to be directly connected to the PMMA clinic in Brazil. They provided extensive and detailed information, and this has been made public, including specific dates of PMMA procedures. So the thing is, rather than releasing the information publicly, Sarah chose restraint. So she limited her public comments to her site enhancement post addressing the tire to avoid collateral damage and to prevent implicating multiple athletes and connect individuals. Despite continued public pressure to release information, the information was responsibly kept private and remains private today. Information was instead discussed uh, confidentially with appropriate industry figures. And it's like it's going on like this. Here, I'm gonna say this about Sarah Villas. I'm not the biggest fan of hers, and you're supposed to set example of a good champion where okay, you took a loss, you lost. This shit is just not good. It's people can feel like women are just being very what's the best way to say it without saying the word bitch? It's just it's not cool.
Unpleasant. Yeah.
Yeah, being unpleasant. It's just you have to you lost. You lost. So here what you do. You take that loss and it motivates you to be better. Or you say, you know what? I have 4 Miss Olympia titles as a physique competitor. Let me move on. Let me do something else. She's doing stuff like, a while back, she put up money for Pittsburgh Pro Women's Physique, and that was the year the Italian won that money. She put up money for the Texas Pro. Maybe become a promoter. Hey, if you promote a show, and almost definitely Italian don't want to do a show if you're promoting it. She doesn't do the Texas Pro. I think she never had done the Texas Pro since that show started. Or like I said, or do what Natalia's doing. Natalia's right now, she's put up a fight for women's bodybuilding, and which is the promoter on the show in Brazil that she helps promote, and say add women's bodybuilding this year. That'd be great. This is one thing, ladies. Go back to that. Get your passport. If you don't have a passport, I'm not interested in going out of the country just yet. If you don't have a passport, you got enough time to get one. I think it takes about at least 5 to 6 months. And this show is not usually till about a little bit after the Olympia, before the Olympia.
Oh yeah, they'll have plenty of time.
They have plenty of time. So really be smart and just sit back and do some good work. Because you know what? If you're going to be talking about this, people get tired of it. And it could also hurt your placing at the next Olympia. This is from my man here. Shout out to Sean. He's coming through. He says, Good afternoon, all. Good night to you, brother. He said, "How you doing?" He
Good
says,
afternoon.
also, this is from my man C. He says, I know, George. Fit model is a cash grab, but it's still, ugh, I know you don't like it. Again, and so again, I'm not a fan of
I mean,
fit model, but I understand it's about bringing attention and getting recognition for women in a new division. But the thing is, how long before that division starts to evolve to be like a division that it's supposed to be currently replacing, or maybe take a
man,
supposed to be a throwback to? How long?
7 divisions for the women.
Yes, because there's so many different women. Different women have different body types, builds, all that. One woman built one way, one woman built different from another. And with men, there's only four. You got men's open, 212, you
Yeah,
got classic, and you got physique. So that 212 don't get as much attention because the fact is it's just smaller guys who are either too big for men's classic or too small for open. And they really want a division that where they can really compete in. And we have here a
yeah.
comment, shout out to here to my man C says this. He says, this crap again with Sarah. This negative attention is destroying her brand. Yes, because she is a brand. She's a current champion. Has been a champion for a good while. I would say be smart and take just really do more good work in helping your division to grow. Like reach out, do seminars. She did something a while back with she
Not
went
too
to
long ago.
yeah, she did something with New York. I suppose that she was up there with Steve Weinberger at the I think it was their gym, the powerhouse gym
Jay
in
Cutler was there, and
they covered there, yeah, and you're talking interview with people, and she's giving. That's what she do. Stick with that. People still respect you,
yeah,
but it's getting very, very few and far between now. Shout out to my man here. C says nobody cares anymore. Sarah needs to move on. This is the Regina George, women's. That's funny. Also, he says this just makes Sarah looks foolish and petty. Yeah, it does. Also, this is from our
mm.
man here, Sean says the IB has turned this into a popularity contest, scaring women away from competing in open class women's bodybuilding. But what if they are too big for the other division? And that's the thing we're talking about. Where
That's what we're talking
IB,
about.
IB NPC, this is your sport. So why aren't you doing more to promote, especially support the women? You're making like these promoters and and other people are making money. You're making money off the guys, but the women, they make up a good percentage of the competitors. Like
Hmm.
now with Fit Model, the numbers has decreased. You have more women in than you do have men, but the men do, as you said again, as I often say, they make up. They're the bottom bitch. They are the ones that get promoted and sponsored. But where does that money go? I mean, you don't put it all on the men. So you mean you can't take and
I
slide it?
mean, I have no clue to be honest
Yeah.
where that
So
money's going.
so you mean you can't tell me you can't slide a cut and maybe you don't have to give a guy $50,000.
Shuffle a little something they way, if you will.
Yeah, because some of these women are coming to shows and competing for less than $5,000. Right now, the only shows that really has more that outside the Olympia is the Rising Phoenix. One time they did have a lot more. They had at least $50,000 for first place, but now it's dropping down because Jake is trying to focus more.
They gave away more than just money. They gave away cars. They gave away big money. They gave away uh didn't they give away IFBB Pro cards
No,
too?
there was the
Oh, okay.
Rising Phoenix Arizona Pro was never a pro qualifier. It was a regional qualifier,
Okay.
meaning that it can get you to do nationals. If you win in your class in whatever division you're in, you get to do nationals. Either you can do something like the Amateur Olympia or nationals, or whatever show that's a pro qualifier, and that's what that
Okay,
was.
gotcha.
It was just also was one exclusively for the ladies. It wasn't like the other.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
I
it
thought they
wasn't
gave away a pro card to it. I was like, okay. Brain
like,
fart.
yeah. Here's my man here, KL the Wanderer. He's
Yeah,
coming
what's up?
through. Hey, what's up?
So,
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Coming. Yeah, as you know, Mikael always has a debate about, he doesn't care. But I always want to hear his thoughts on it because, he does content a bit. He's still learning. But I always want to get his feedback on his opinion on, like, what would you think? Because you've been to shows, like you've been New York Pro, you've been to shows in the OCB. what would you think the women need to do to promote themselves?
I don't really have an answer, too much answer of it. I mean, I do see some women, they put in a podcast, they put in a podcast out there, a platform, you know, I really can't really say too much. I mean, like I'm gonna put it like this: if I was like one of these women, I would like find a way to like do like a podcast or just even go to I know other people have said this, go to other live streams, and it don't even have to be about bodybuilding, or you could just promote like certain things like I know some of these they being sponsored or something like that. I can't really say, but I think like just putting like having a podcast or even having like a YouTube channel, just trying to like make an effort of putting yourself out there. That's all I got. I really can't say or know how to do it. I be trying to put myself out there a bit. Um, I think a lot of these women they have advantages. They might not look at it like some of them they got beauty and they probably can use that. They don't have to be on OnlyFans, but if you want to do that, that's cool too. But it's, they got advantages. Just have to know how to take it if it makes sense. I don't know, but I can't really. I'm not like no person that know about management like Raheem. Sometimes he say the same thing over and over again, but things I some things it's kind of far fetched. Like when he talk about going to Hollywood, they got to be attracted to you. If that's a long shot. That's like trying to make it to the NBA. You know, that's how articulate I could say it, but I think they just have to be creative about it. You can't just not do anything, expect somebody to to help you. I mean, like you make a platform on bodybuilding, a lot of them they come to you and you offer them, hey, you want to be on this podcast, take the advantage while you can, but of you not doing nothing and and being on a cave, it's not going to get you nowhere. People not going to be interested in you. That's it.
That's a good point because he does, like I said, a lot of ladies,
Mhm.
you just can't, after you do a show, just go into, sanctuary and say, I don't, you can't be like, it was a movie, it was an actress. She said, like, I want to be alone. You can't do that, because people want to be knowing what your plans are, what you're doing. It's like any other, like, if you like these celebrities, I mean, even they are very private, but they know that people are always curious about what they're doing. You got to see yourself like a celebrity. You got to go out there. You have to talk to people, do interviews, reach out. You like recently, I just saw a couple of some ladies I've done interviews with: Anastasia Ryder, Elizabeth Moline, and also Amon Scott. She just on Elizabeth has a YouTube account, and she's posted her and Anastasia. They were talking. I watched it a little bit, and they made some good points. Especially they were at one point they were different divisions. They actually started in figure. They moved up to physique and then went on to women's bodybuilding. And you have to really not be afraid of what people think of you. Like I remember somebody said that don't worry about the negative comments, because people are always going to hate something because people can be just asses. Shot here, man.
To cut you off, it's not even a IFBB, bro. Like the OCB chicks too. Like a lot of them, this stuff. I don't taking me serious, but some do. So a lot of them don't. And you have to after a while you get tired of them. That's why I be saying the way what I be saying. You get a little fatigue. Like I don't want to reach out to these women. Fuck them. Hey, just keep it moving. But it is what it is. So
Yeah, it can't be forgiven. But you know what? If it's those women who generally want to, like, I just interviewed Unka. She's from another country. She's Caribbean, and she's a nice lady. We took her time because she has some stuff going on. I was patient with her. Also, I had the other night. I had Donna and Alicia. They are very nice ladies. And yes, I have people turn me down, or some people say like I said earlier, they say they're very introverted. But the thing is, why call yourself an introvert when you are? Most introverts don't want to be on stage. Well, that's different. No, it's not different. You're just using that as an excuse. You use that as a crutch. You can't be afraid of what society think of you. That's the thing is, I would tell people, stop worrying about what people think or say about you. If you have something, you have a story to share. You might have something that maybe might inspire somebody. You never know. And again, you can't be in your own way. I often say like this: I had to learn to get out of my own way. When I decided to go to places like Savannah, Tampa. When I'm planning on going to a show this year, because I want to be out there more, not just be here at the house. Because, like I said, there's not a lot of, I think there's a couple places here and there I can go, but it takes time and money. And that's why I'm saving a little money. That's why I have my right here, folks. You see my GoFundMe. You see I used to have a GoFundMe. I have to delete it now because it's dead. I have my PayPal. I have my Cash App, and I have people to donate for me for. I appreciate that. But like this, ladies, you have to be presentable. And I know some ladies have personalities, but the rest of you have to really come out of your shell. Here, shout out to my man here. C says politics and bodybuilding is pain in the ass. That's true. Also, it says figure women, fitness women, and women's physique women have to pay for all their accessories for competing, and they show up in droves at competitions. Yet, women's bodybuilders struggle with the numbers. Here's the thing: is there's so few women bodybuilders. There's like, you talked about there's the new women's bodybuilding IG, and really it's like at least 70 women actually in bodybuilding, and that's meaning that who are active, counting the women here in the States and other countries here and there. But then with divisions like women's body with physique and figure and fitness, even fitness don't have the big numbers. But here's about fitness: it's a more exciting division because now, as you know, Chicago Pro don't have women's bodybuilding, but this year it's going to have fitness because it's entertaining. Remember, like I said this earlier in our last podcast yesterday, how remember back we used to do this when we had the weight classes in women's bodybuilding. You used to also have a presentation. They used to dress up in uniforms and outfits for their finals. That's what something I think probably if you can bring that back, if you can make it like when you do the finals, make it really
that would be awesome.
Yeah, make it entertaining where people want maybe, you know what? I just watched the prejudging and hey, I want to come see the finals and see like something like seeing someone like what do I think about
Lavinia Burrows come out in a magician outfit or something. No, that'd be pretty cool.
Or dress like with the flag of Brazil, or Ashley Jones. She's a gymnast. She does a lot of gymnasts. Dressing like a little cowboy outfit, and doing flips and stuff like that. But the thing is that the numbers is because they don't have so much time to do their routine. If they had the more time, because that's one thing they're trying to do with the new point system, try to knock down the numbers because most of it is going to affect divisions like men's classic, men's physique, bikini, and wellness because they have more shows. Because they cut down the number and give more time. Maybe ladies have enough time to do a presentation, have a performance, or years ago there was an event where some ladies got together, all women bodybuilders, and they kind of just performed. They dressed up in outfits, did like some strength stuff, and they were entertaining. That would be something that I think people.
I remember that.
Yeah, if you can like get somebody to set it up, it don't have to be somebody who understands business, understands entertainment. One person that I heard talking, I think she can probably do it, is like Chelsea Dion, because she's the one who set up the IG. She's very personable. She's very, she's in Vegas. Could you do it in Vegas? It could be a bit expensive. Maybe someplace else where they did it in New York years ago, where you can get a big crowd. Maybe do it after Olympia, where the people are still in town and they want to go say, hey, like they can say like, hey, we're just going to do the show afterwards. You want to stay in town, you want to see us do a little stuff, and be entertaining. Come by, swing by, and check it out.
Yeah, same thing with B Dime. She does like entertaining stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's Brittany Diamond, and
Yep.
she's supposed to be competing this year, get a pro card. Folks, I'm going to jump in here for a little bit, and one person who I'm a fan of, and I got the pleasure of meeting her, and this is somebody I think she really stands out in a division. That is Sharonica Henry. I met Sharonica, talked with her. I think she's a lovely lady, and to me, I would love to see her become the next uh, physique Olympic champion. There's a lot of people who like her, respect her. She even did this a while back.
Mhm.
I think she was at an event. She does guest posing on the side where she was dressed up. If I can find it, like a cowboy. Where is it? It's here somewhere. I saw it, but it was. I think it was a while back ago. She has a great physique, great lines. Here she is. Also, her and these are three women representing their divisions. You have Nicole Zenobia, who's in figure. You have Sharonka, you have Chelsea. And this is where they hooked up with a company called Colt Fitness. And this is what really helps. These are three different divisions, three different women. And this is where I think maybe we get more people to come out for something like this, to maybe sponsorship, also
There
to
you go.
put a plan together. These are three Olympia level ladies. They don't have to be Olympia
Hmm.
level. Just somebody who really wants to promote your division. You know, but Shamanika is an amazing lady. I know a while back she and her fiance got married, and this is somebody who can really stand out for a division because right now, people. I just interviewed a lady who worked with her opposing. Uh, you know, uh, she had a great. This is somebody I will say I would love to promote to get attention to, and maybe bring attention to also to her division. Maybe even get her to do like she does interviews before. She does interviews with Glenn, and get an interview with a man, David. But she can really, really speak more out about the sport because she's been competing for a long time.
Hmm.
There's a lot of women in the sport that can really bring attention to it. You know, and that thing is to try to set an like a plan to maybe get do more outreach to the public. You know, dismiss the myths about if you're a female bodybuilder, you're gonna be a man. No, you can never be a man.
Nah,
No,
nah.
you can never be a real man.
Hey.
That's what it is. They have to be willing to, you know, get out of their own ways, I said, and try to not just promote themselves, but also promote their sport.
Had
You
to
got
get a
much
cough
to say?
drop. So,
Hmm?
what was that? I have to get a cough drop at the end.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing is about bodybuilding. Like I said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the women. I'm a fan of the sport. And I like to say again, ladies, you can't sit and wait to like a shining knight to come right on a white horse to come save you. You have to be able
Yeah.
to be your own hero. You know, it's like anything. It's a business. Like some of you ladies who run your own businesses, like Sharonka, she runs a posing business. Chelsea, she does photography. She also does. Chelsea does goes to the show and do photography and photo sessions. So some ladies who also work suit designers. I remember a lady I interviewed a while back. She designs suits, and she still competes. You know,
Hmm.
there's so much you can
Um,
do.
Alexa, Alex Blankenship. Yeah, she do that.
Alex too, and also another lady I interviewed a while back too.
Um,
Yeah, she has her own company. She also sponsors competitors. Alex, her shows is really reasonable because I remember I sent some links to a couple of ladies say, hey, check these out because this can save you money, especially if you're amateur. You want to get a nice suit, you don't want to pay arm and leg, it's within reason and within your budget. She does pretty good suits, you know. And again, for your competitors, maybe if somebody out there who's interested in sponsoring, you don't have to be money. It could be like cover the cost of their trip. You can pay for their ticket. If you work at a motel and say, you know what, I'm a fan, I can get you a low rate. If you put it, the show you coming in, if it's a nice motel and save you a few bucks, where you can put it towards something else, like get yourself a new pair of high heels, either figure competitor or bikini competitor or wellness. or get makeup or whatever you need, your hair done. One lady who I interviewed, Alicia, she's a hairstylist. I know someone like Marilyn Yee, she also is a hairstylist. I would say some of you ladies can maybe work, like, if you can get the promoter, say, find up the funds to pay the services to, pay y'all to come and work and do hair and stuff and makeup. That's one thing the promoter.
That'd be nice.
If you can put aside a fund, those women who can't afford the cost of hair and makeup and cover their costs, have come in, have some, some designers and some, and some makeup artists to come in and say, hey, I can't afford that. I don't have the money. Hey, we got you. Because this thing is, we don't come to see you promoters. We don't come see the sponsors. We come see the competitors. And if you do that from them, they will come to your shows. If you make it where it is affordable for them, they will come. If you can help them save a few bucks, they will come. Because you know what? They're going out of pocket to come out to show. And, and at the end, what they're going to show for it? You place the top 5, you don't get in the money part, you'll get anything. How about, handing out like food vouchers because you're going to be hungry after the show, or have a big old, you can rent out a nice little hall and set up food and stuff like that. Because, some ladies might want to eat and they might want some place to go. So like, especially I remember when I was in Tampa and I was hanging out. It was like, I went to go see Eunice compete at the Master Show. They had it like, it started like about a little after 5. That's really late in the afternoon. Come on. And then it was almost 10, 11 o'clock when we ended. That was on a Thursday. We had to find some place to go to eat. Me, her, and her husband, Mr. Willie. And there was one place that was closed. It was open. The bar was open, but the kitchen was closed. Other place was closed. We found this other place way, way outside of town. And it was convenient. It was nice. We liked the food, and I appreciate the time they spent with them. But some ladies, sometimes they'd be having, when they finish the show, there's no, they have to either call it Uber Eats, or try to find a way to get food. But some places don't have like a place to cook, unless you're going to go to a certain motel. They have their own kitchen, but most don't even have a microwave anymore. Because a lot of competitors like to eat while they're in the motels because they don't want to eat out. Do that. Like after the show, have a little banquet. Set it up so if everyone want to come in, hey, we got food for y'all. We got you set up. You want to eat? You can sit here and get your food. You can go back to your room. You can chill, and then hey, you get to work. Just do that for them as appreciation for their time. Because again, that could save them some money. Because eating out costs.
I mean, it does. Catering would be important for these athletes. Trust me, it would be. Yeah. Because they're starving. After all the prepping, the dedication, the hard work that they put, they deserve to eat good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you make it worth their while, they will come. But also, ladies, you got to be wanting to come to these shows. And again, like when you come to a show, promote it on your social media. Say, hey, I'm going to be at this show this weekend. Come check me out. Come check the show. Leave the links and stuff like that. I like when show starts up, I do videos and I do reels and talk about who's competing and who's going to be at the show. Because you know what? It's give attention. So that's how some of the ladies started following me, because they see I'm tag them in the videos and say, hey, I appreciate that. That's what I mean of putting in work. You ladies got to do the same. We're going to be at a show. Some of you do, but some of you don't. And some of you want to keep, I don't want nobody to know because, you're afraid of who's going to be at the show. You shouldn't worry about it, because here's the thing is, there's going to be some top level competitors. And, sometimes they're not always going to be the best of shape. You can probably be that person that can get that qualification to Olympia. Just be there and be on time. But you got to be able to want it. No one's going to give it to you. Here's the thing. I learned a long time ago. No one owes you shit. No one's going to give you nothing you don't work for it. No one's going to give you no handouts. Now, some of you might every now and then, you might have somebody who might do a little favor for you every now and then, but generally, most people don't. If you do, and somebody does a favor for you, you have to pay. It has to. Hey, it's a give and take. If I do something for you, what are you going to do for me? That's the thing.
Oh man.
That's
Oh my God.
I work the club.
Man, you all right with me?
Take some water. Hey, that's how it is like that. You're gonna know
I'm trying to say something, but I mean,
what I say. Go ahead and say it. I know you got something to say. Go ahead and say it. Take a breath and go ahead and speak your mind.
all right, here I go. Let me compose myself. Yeah, but ladies, there's gonna be some tough competition out there, regardless of what show you do. So you just have to go to the drawing board, go to the gym, work on your physique, your dieting, and like, what else can I say? Bodybuilding is a sport. That's a part of the game.
Well, my man Kia, he stopped. He's laughing. So he got
All right, yeah.
Take a deep breath and speak.
No, that just had me going. I ain't gonna lie. That probably I'm like, yeah. That's that's a little bit of me. I ain't gonna lie, probably.
Yeah, because
I think a lot of them they focusing on working out and doing and performing and all that type of stuff. They not looking at it in the long run. Like what they could do. In ways of promoting themselves. They're more on focusing on competing. A lot of them when you even talk to them, they. That's why sometimes I ask them, like, what do you do outside of bodybuilding? Because there's people that's not going to relate to you all the time with that, and you just probably you just keep focusing on bodybuilding. That's all you're going to be doing, and you're not going to be focusing on just promoting yourself.
Yeah, you got to see something like a brand. And that's the thing with brand, you have to put in the work. Like people like Andrea. Andrea, I see her every so often. She promotes herself and also stuff for her company that sponsors that's Mutant Nation, and and that's one thing. Someone has to step up each division and be the leader. You don't have to be the champion. Like if you play football, the quarterback's not the captain of the team; it's somebody else. It could be one of the defensive ends or somebody who's the veteran. It don't have to be the champion of the division. It don't have to be Sarah. It don't have to be Natalia. It doesn't have to be Rhea Gale. It doesn't have to be Andrea. It doesn't have to even be Michelle Marcea. In those divisions or whoever's in bikini wellness, it could be somebody who's willing to be the voice, who's also has understanding of business, understanding of how people view things. I mean, have foresight and use that foresight in modeling a brand. Right now the IFBB, they have a brand, they have a clothing line, but what's that money goes? It's not going back into the sport and the competitors. It's going to the pockets of the Mannion family. You should be saying, hey, why are we wearing this and we're not getting like a little share, a stipend or something like that, or cover cost of fees like that, or use it towards maybe paying the cost of our entry fee every year. And also our my man Keith, he pays like $275 when he was competing for his pro card fees.
Oh,
that
wow.
can go to that. I also said this often, these competitors can use some kind of assistance, like at these shows, they don't have like